Hello, hello, and good evening, people. I am Naomi, the founder of RESTFEST, and the comedy value in these videos is always seeing if I can get the guest speaker not only on my screen to share it with me, but also the right way around. And I've got a horrible feeling that my phone thinks I'm in not the right way round, but we're going to wait and see. I'm going to wait and see who joins us. I am pumped and ready and raring to go. I've had a fantastic day today, surrounded by awesome women, and I'm just buzzing, totally buzzing. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for hopping over. We are going to be chatting to the awesome Kate Taylor this evening, whenever she pings onto my screen. I'm not sure if you've seen any of my live calls before, but this is like tender hooks moments, Michelle, because the technology never is 100% foolproof, you know what I mean? So I have to, I'm keeping an eye on my laptop as well as on here to see if I can see Kate magically appear to join us. My phone also then sends me 10 million messages. But yeah, I am psyched. I've had like an utterly wonderful day. I have spent some gorgeous time with Katie from Hot Pod. I've had a lovely chat with my coach and mentor, Jill Wooten. There's Kate. Yes, she is here. It's all going to work wonderfully. Kate, let's zoom you in. Let's bring you on the screen. And now I get to two. So once I have the technology, we're going to rock and roll tonight. We are going to rock and roll. There she is. It's work.
I was having a slight panic that my phone wasn't going to work, but I am here.
I know, it's tense, isn't it? It's tense.
Yes,
I can put the laptop down. I'm super excited to have you this evening, Kate, sharing the screen with me, as lots of people are really excited to get to know you a little bit better.
I'm excited to get to know everybody else as well. I literally can't wait for the day itself, because I just feel like it's going to be a really beautiful collection of women, and even anybody who's not there, just like the general community that's being built around it's gorgeous. Excuse me while I just get the tripod fixed and steady. There we go.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those of you that haven't heard of RESTFEST, I mean, like, where have you been? Under a rock? Because I have not stopped bleating on about it now for about 6 months. But it is a brand new event that we are holding in West Sussex, which, as Kate very rightly said, is a collaboration of 18 amazing women. And all of them have been influential in my journey of self-discovery. And I just really wanted to share all their vibe and their energy, because they've just got so much value, so much wisdom, just all those little nuggets, the way somebody says those things to you and you go, oh, yeah, why didn't I see that before? And it just changes your life. And I know I'm bigging it up like it's a game changer, but I'm really hoping that it's going to be the atmosphere, the energy, just the beautiful vibe of so many women in one place, a beautiful venue, scrummy food. Like, everyone that's seen the timetable is like, I don't know what to go to, because it's just so much great stuff to do. And what a lovely problem to have. Like, I can't choose because everything's so awesome. So I'm super excited about RESTFEST. If you don't know anything about it, have a little look on www.restfest.co.uk. You'll find everything you need to know just there. So with no further ado, now I've let everybody know about that, let's find out about you, Kate, because like literally in the last couple of months, everyone's been saying to me, Kate, is Kate Taylor coming? Is Kate Taylor coming? Is Kate Taylor? And I'm like, yeah, I'm so glad she is, because I would feel like I'm letting people down if you weren't. So that's...
Oh my God, I'm humbled and I've got a little tear. That's really sweet. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no, so I feel like when we had a quick practice run earlier, we were just chatting, weren't we, and saying, like, we feel like we should have known each other for a long time, because we've got a lot of similarities.
I always feel like when you meet with people, and as I said at the beginning, you know, that the magic is gathering, and it's just a remembrance, isn't it? When you're joining together with people, it just feels like you've been in each other's company for years and years and years. So it's all good.
Yeah, it's going to be magical. It's going to be magical. So let's get to know you, Kate. Let's find out, because who you are, where you are, a little bit about your story. So from your website, I can see you're a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, coach, mentor. Also, you've had this very colourful background. That's what I love about your work. Everything is very colourful and vibrant. So where did it come from? How have you got to be where you are now? What took you on your journey to be a healer and a helper?
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because I was having the conversation over the weekend about trying to trace where these things came from. And actually, you know, when we work with our purpose, when we work with our true meaning, it's kind of something that's always been there for us. And we've just got to follow the breadcrumbs of how we've got to where we've got to. I guess in terms of my work as I call myself a creativity empowerment coach, and what that means is, you know, helping people tune into the essence of their creativity and empowering them to get to where they want to get to, or be in there where they are right now, right? Because every moment is exactly where we need to be. And I guess really that came from I used to have a career in the advertising world.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really recognize is I had gone through a whole process of that whole searching for my purpose and my place and my meaning in life. I would have so many conversations with girlfriends and friends and family where things would go round and round in my head. It didn't matter how much white wine I drank, I never got the answers. And I really recognized that there were so many women like that around me as well, particularly in the workspace that I was in, because it was very male dominated environments and very high pressured. And I just realized how much women were shrinking themselves down to fit in, to be the nice girl, to be the good girl, to, you know, make sure that everybody else was okay. And they weren't putting themselves forward. They weren't empowering or being empowered in those environments to really step into this incredible essence of who they are and their own creativity. And I could see it from the outside, but a lot of women couldn't. And yeah, like I said, I was going through my own kind of journeys of trying to work out, is this the thing I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life? But it doesn't feel like it's giving me enough sense of purpose. You know, I really feel like the way that we come into this sense of purpose is by being of service. So I wanted to know how I could be of service. And actually it came to be that I went to see a coach because I was trying to get these answers clear in my head. And that was so cathartic for me that I was just able to take all of this kind of mind soup that you know we have that's going on pretty much most of the time, and almost like write it out on post-it notes and get it out in front of me and go, well, actually, this stuff doesn't really matter. This stuff's really important. What's really important for me is working with people and helping them to get clear and be confident and feel their own sense of self. And actually, I thought, God, if this could do this for me, then imagine what it can do for other people in my life and the people that I work with. So I retrained, became a coach, and then a few years later went into train in NLP, which just blew my mind, blew everything apart, really.
It's crazy.
And then it's like, once you kind of tune into this stuff, then it doesn't, everything opens up the door and you follow even more breadcrumbs. And at this time you're led much more by your heart, and where you find these nuggets of inspiration and where you find that you're having most effect with things and actually what lights you up. So like my whole world has exploded since then in terms of what I do. There's no barriers to everything that I do, and also the work that I do with my clients. So God, it's just exploded, and I couldn't for my work. I really couldn't.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? Like when you start for me, I just want to give it a go. I just want to do everything, because when you start thinking, well, why shouldn't I? And you stop wanting to people please, you stop wanting to do all the shoulds and everybody else tells me and society's conditioning, and just start making up your own rule book. Like, yeah, why the hell not?
I know, it's brilliant, right? So, you know, exactly that, like making up your own rule book. This is the work that I really want to work with people on, is how they create their lives, creation being, or creativity being, the thing that's at the center, on their own terms. I mean, doing it in your own way, like sticking two fingers up to any kind of normality and not fearing that judgment that we think people have on us, or what we feel that we have to aspire to other people, and putting ourselves at the front of that queue and going, it's okay for me to want to do these things, to want to change, to want to break out of these boxes that I've been put in. So I've rewritten many rule books in terms of my work. Like, you know, we'll talk about it a bit later on, but I've just created my own products and set up my own publishing company because I wanted to do it in my way.
Yeah.
So Like, there's no stopping us.
Yeah,
Really isn't.
no. Oh God, your energy is so high, Kate, and I'm feeling it all.
Oh, bless you. And I say hello to everybody because there's like loads of people coming in, and thank you for the comments. It's really beautiful.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. There is lots of the women from Good Enough Women, which is a women's group I run on Facebook. So come on over because it's a fantastic place. Anyone that's not already there, Good Enough Women from Sussex, it's just all of this high vibe energy, sharing lots of hints and tips about how to be more awesome, basically, or be more authentically you and getting rid of the rule book.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really everybody here. Yeah, so yeah, that is throw the rule book out, and while that might seem really daunting, I know when I first did it, you know, you go ahead with something sometimes and you're like full steam ahead, and then you get into it and you're like, now what do I do? It feels like a bit is creeping in. But I have, you know, I work with that myself every day, and I work with other clients with that every day. My kind of work is about helping people to create a vision for what they want to achieve, and then helping them, being that cheerleader and champion, and taking each step, as I'm sure you're aware of as well in your work, to make sure that it doesn't send you off into complete panic, or if you're in complete panic, helping to hold somebody steady, going, I've got you, you know, we're doing this together, that's all cool, and actually breaking down some of that. And but also as well, and I'm sure you do this in your work as well, is trying to understand if you are being stopped, or is stuff that's blocking you, where that's coming from, and clearing that crap out of the way so that we can get on with what we want to do.
It is, because it's only our thoughts, isn't it? It's just been imprinted. Everybody else's ideas, everybody else's stories, everybody else's stuff. You know, we can get rid of that, and it completely and utterly changes what you're capable of doing. I'm not saying it's ever easy. Like, stuff comes up the whole time on my journey, every single day of the week. Like, it's just keep on working on it. Like, the resistance, keep on going through it. What is it trying to show me? Like, why do I keep, you know, going off track and doing things I shouldn't be? Jill Witten will be laughing here. But you know, what does that mean? Why do I keep doing all this other stuff and think? Anyway,
yeah,
you know, I'm
absolutely to show us stuff, isn't it? You know, it's really interesting when I have a train of thought that comes up and I get stuck on it and I get stuck in it, and then you have to kind of just take yourself off to a side step, almost like a little side shuffle, and just go, I'm just gonna have a look at that in a different way and go, that's interesting. I'm just gonna be curious about what this thought that keeps going around is, because maybe it's something that's gonna help me to uncover something else. You know, ego, as we know, is there to kind of keep us safe. It does it in a way that kind of keeps us in fear, but it's also there to teach us what we can pogo around, cha-cha around, you know, get. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, it's incredible insight, isn't it? When you're able to do that kind of out of body experience and look on it in and find the lessons, follow those breadcrumbs. It's another breadcrumb, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we're gonna be like Hansel and Greteled out by the end of this. Cool. So let's have a little chat first of all about you and Megan teaming up together for qoya, because qoya is something that's newly kind of like filtered in. I kept seeing things, and then I saw some like clips, and I found this really cool one of shaking it out. We all did it at one of my women's circles, and it was really cool. We had a big shaking out session all together, but I'm still not entirely sure what it is, so maybe you can dispel some of the mystery.
I just want to answer a quick question before we go on to that. So Angie's just asked the question about how do you know which is the right decision, and really good question, because we are, you know, we often have decision fatigue, don't we? Especially when we're really busy and everything's going on a million miles an hour. What I would say about knowing what the right decision is, I would say that there's no such thing as a wrong decision. It's just a decision. It's what our ego will play with us afterwards, potentially. But in terms of knowing what the right decision is, depending on what that is about taking a moment to slow down and tune in. And just tune in with your sense of, is it your head going a million miles an hour trying to find logic and trying to reason its way out of things, or is it a feeling that you get really within your intuition? And intuition is a place where we can only get to when we slow things down. So in terms of, I don't know, you know, what your particular decision is about, but I would encourage you to take that moment to slow down, tune into your intuition. Intuition is never wrong, and just be guided by that. Try and help, if you can, just dispel some of that noise for a moment and tune into what the heart and the gut says. Okay.
That's great advice. That's great advice.
Yeah. And actually, this is actually the wonderful thing about qoya. So just to give a background into what qoya is a movement practice which helps women to get connected back into their bodies, to remember that their essence is wise, wild and free. And wise, wild and free is based around the 3 principles of qoya, and wise it being the ancient wisdom of yoga. So in every qoya practice, we always do a yoga movement, but it's a yoga as devotion to movement and devotion to our intention and devotion to prayer. And that prayer can be any intention. And then the wild part is when we can tune into what it feels like in the body to feel good. You know, so many restrictions we put on ourselves of the things that we should do, being at the back of the queue, you know, looking after everybody else apart from ourselves. And I see women doing this, and they're like, there's nothing of them left. And when we get back to our wild essence, it's about remembering that we can be wild in whichever way that shows up. And then the free element of qoya is about being able to be guided by the body to a place where it feels good and having freedom in that movement and freedom in that flow. And when you pull all of those together, I call it coaching using the body, because the body's got such wonderful innate wisdom that if we slow down, as I was saying a minute before, if we slow down and listen and tune into the body, it's got all the answers, right? So in qoya, you're invited to tune in, to slow down and just listen to where your body wants to move, and listen and move through what might be going on for you. So we always in qoya, you set an intention, you set a theme, and then we move with that. So the playlist that we create around that, the playlist that Meg and I will put together, will be specifically created to get your body into a way in which it moves through that theme. We'll move through circling the body and really slowing the body down. We'll bring into some beautiful breathing and bring in an intention. We're going to shake things up. We're going to get you connected to your heart, and then we're going to get you connected into your hips, which is where this wonderful feminine wisdom is, that as women we're so kind of removed from because of everyday life, and we're taught not to be too sensual, not be too much. But in this wonderful hip wisdom is so much unconscious creativity, and just when we can slow down into it, it's got so much to tell us.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and you know, there is some like the wonderful elements of core, like I mean, I love all of it. It's got, you know, we've got 13 different pillars that we move through, but there's that bit where we shake and we can just release out all of that stuff that doesn't work for us. And yeah, you're gonna love it. I can just come experience it. Anybody that can, like, nobody's heard of it, but when they do, they're like, oh, I've been waiting for this my whole life. And do you know what? That's exactly what happened to me when I first found. It's just been a game changer. It really has.
Yeah, I love those discoveries. It's just, you know, again, you just get led there, don't you? And hearing Megan talk about it the other day, I was just like, I cannot wait to try this. Like, it's just going to be awesome. Yeah. And everyone, like the comments, I'm just scrolling back through the comments, like everyone is like really, really excited about the qoya. So expect a full packed house.
It's so wonderful because I know that it's such a gift. You know, I know it's such a gift that's been given to me. And Megan came to she came to her first qoya class with me, and it is sometimes like the sound of 1,000 pennies dropping. It's 1,000 light bulbs going off. And what happened with me when I first tried it was really funny, because I know everyone's gonna really really tune into this, but I'd been resisting it for ages. I was like, I don't need to move my body, I don't need to dance, what am I going to do with that? Head. I'm just okay where I am, even though I totally wasn't. And I, at the time where I was really disconnected from myself. You know, people would call it a depression. I'd been through quite a lot, and I, you know, was doing coaching, doing the NLP, everything from the outside looked amazing. But I felt nothing from the neck down, no joy, no sadness, no pain, just nothing. And it was pretty terrifying, actually. And qoya kept popping up, and I was just resisting it, being very, you know, masculine about, don't need this. It's very logical, thank you. And My friend Jane, who is running, she always says she'll never forget the moment that I felt joy. And it was, I think it was like in the free dance. I was probably listening to Katy Perry or something, or dancing to Katy Perry. And I was spinning around with my arms aloft. And I just suddenly got this overwhelming sense of being like a kid again and feeling just nothing but joy. And I was like, it was just like being able to breathe, you know? And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, this is the thing, this is the thing, this is the thing. I literally got myself on a plane to Costa Rica within 3 months and was out there learning how to teach it.
Wow.
Had such an impact. So I'm not saying that everyone's going to have to like run off to Costa Rica unless you really want to, but
come with me.
it's
Oh, that's a beautiful story. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm just desperate to try it now. Lovely Marie is asking, because you're local, Kate, aren't you? Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Worthing.
You're in Worthing, I thought so. Are you teaching those classes locally at the moment?
I have been. I was doing them in Shoreham for up to last year. Been a little bit busy with this project that I'll share with you. A couple of people have got questions about the deck as well. So I haven't done recently, but I will get back into it. Been a little bit busy. Got my own retreat coming up in a few weeks as well. But yeah, I'm hoping to get back doing them locally soon. But I will let people know for
posted.
Sure.
Come in Good Enough Women and let us know when you're getting started, because I think you're going to have people knocking down your door after RESTFEST.
Because again, community, qoya, it really is about bringing community of women together. You know, we sit in circle, we share with each other, and sometimes that can just be through movement, you know, and really is a gift to be able to hold space for women coming into their bodies. Yeah.
Oh, I'm intrigued and excited, and just, yeah, there's going to be a queue for qoya at RESTFEST. So yeah, some people are asking, lovely Georgie, gorgeous Georgie, who's also a very creative, beautiful, talented therapist of many different methods. She's asking about your deck, so she's leading on to the big project that you have been working on, which I've been seeing all over the place ever since. You know, it's like it's when your reticular activating system like clocks on. I've been like seeing it everywhere ever since. My friend was talking about it on her Instagram the other day. We saw lovely Leroy Hosson talking about it the other day. So over to you. Tell us all about practical magic.
Yes, well, practical magic is my blended melting pot of the tools that I use. So coaching, hypnotherapy, NLP, visualization, qoya, and what I wanted to do was, I love using decks. We use wisdom decks in the qoya class, and it's a really good way of taking a moment to stop and tune in to yourself. And pretty much every time somebody pulls a card, they just go, oh, okay. Because it's a moment when your intuition is going, I've been trying to talk to you for a little while and you might have been ignoring me because you're all up in your head. But moment, and it's a time for just tuning in. And my firm belief is that we are all truly, we have all of our wisdom inside of us, right? And what I wanted to create with this deck was something that people could use, whether it's every day or whenever they need it, that they can just become their own life coaches, tune into their own wisdom. So let me show you what it is. It's and it's based on my practical magic. It's based around 4 pillars. So it's 4 pillars of calm, so helping us to slow down, take a breath, come into body, just slow it down. To create, so using our own essence of creativity, because we're all creative, to be able to tune into ourselves, see things differently, create new ways of doing things. And then empower, which is to empower, you know, bring some vibrancy and empower, bring confidence, use body language, all of that kind of stuff to empower new ways of doing things. And then vitality, so how we bring that vibrancy into the body. So what it is it's this toolkit, and in the toolkit you get 56 beautifully illustrated cards.
They're amazing, aren't they? So lush. Let's have lots of love hearts.
And look at this. This is what we're going to be doing at RESTFEST.
Yeah, disco moves on the deck.
Really beautiful. beautifully illustrated cards. They were done by a friend of mine, Matt, who's an illustrator. And the brief I gave to him was, can you bring me to life or bring the essence of my life? And I love dancing, I love music, I love a bit of rock and roll, I love graffiti, all that kind of stuff. And he just did such a wonderful job, and it was brilliant because we just spent 3 months actually, when we were putting it together, just having these most wonderful philosophical conversations about things like hypnotherapy, like yoga nidra, about out-of-body experience, like loads of stuff. And we just meet up every week and just have great chats, and then he'd take me and put it into, or what I was trying to connect with people and put it into these visualizations, these illustrations. But then what you get as well is you get a book, and I always say to people when they pull a card, it's like you tune into what that card means for you, but there's an interpretation in the book, and there's an interpretation, but there's also an activation exercise. So every single card has something that you can do with it. So you have that moment of connecting in, but then you can do something. So that might be a coaching question, it might be a breathing exercise. There's videos and meditations that you can go off and do as well. So it's a toolkit.
Ooh,
I want people to activate their inner wisdom.
Yay! It is glorious. It just sounds perfect. It just sounds totally perfect.
Should we pull a card? Does everybody want to pull a card?
Yeah, let's do it.
How does that sound? Okay, cool. Because my friend Lucy always says that when you pull a card for one, you pull a card for the room. So I'm just gonna take a moment to let's take a moment to tune in, everyone, and just come into breath. Just take a moment to come into breath. And take a moment of pause to what might be going on for you right now, what you might be stuck on, what you might need some guidance on, or just generally where you're at. And I'm going to pull a card. Oh, I've got the Wonder card. Now it's really funny because this one, people sometimes have a reaction go, oh my God, that feels like the inside of my brain. But this really is about being able to take yourself off somewhere with no particular agenda in mind, and being able to get really absorbed in what it would feel like to go somewhere without any limitation, or because nothing's linear in life, is it? It really isn't. So it's about being able to basically get yourself lost in order to find yourself. I'm just going to get to the page so we can have a look at this.
How does that feel for everybody else? It's so spot on for me, man. This is exactly what I'm trying to do with my whole life, is to get lost, to find myself.
Yeah, exactly. Because, the first line is, where are you living on autopilot? Like, we get so stuck on things that we think we should be doing. And actually the invitation to be able to kind of look and get yourself lost and find a different path, or just be led by your intuition sometimes, is a joy. It opens up your imagination. It allows you to daydream and think of different ways of doing things without having to be so rigid and structured and things. So what does that mean to people? I'm just going to try and scroll up and see if I can see the cards.
Yeah, let's see. What do you... Oh dear, over.
Point me right up. Yes.
Yeah.
So let me just read out what the book says and then see how that's interpreting for people. Because I would say, like, these cards, what's written here is my interpretation. Your interpretation is exactly as it's supposed to be. So embrace the joys of wandering. Take a detour from the path. Not having all the answers will awaken your senses to help you become more alert, aware, and more instinctual. You can define new territories and landscapes and forge new paths. With no map or obvious tool for the answer, you will find new and creative ways to answer your own questions. Getting lost will help you find yourself again.
Oh, yes. I'm loving every single bit of that. Yeah, I don't know.
For the activation with this, and it's really just fun because these are just simple things that you can do every day, is and this is really interesting because it comes back to the conversation we were having earlier about how do you know the right decision. So it's really funny that this card has come up because it's exactly as it's supposed to be. So spend a day being led by your intuition, wandering with nowhere in mind. This really is as simple as it sounds. You could leave the house with no intended destination in mind. You could choose your mode of transport you decide on as soon as you set foot out the door, whether that's going by car or bus or walking, foot, horse, magic carpet ride, whatever. Speak to people that you're drawn to speak to. Eat and drink the food you're guided to drink. Visit places you've never been but have always wanted to. And be guided by your own internal compass based on what feels good. And then allow your curiosity to take the lead and be open to the journey that you take yourself on. Allow yourself to explore with no agenda. So
I love that, and it's resonating on so many different levels for me. Like, one, I used to do this when the kids were really small. I used to like leave the house and say, right, should we go left or right? Where do you want to go? Like, and let them be the guide, the navigator for the day or the hour or so. So that used to be fun. But actually for me, like, a lot of this is exactly what I'm trying to do for the family long term. We're trying to go traveling next year for extended, well, no, we are going traveling next year for an extended period of time to get lost as a family and really find out what's important to us and really try to recreate our own rule book of how we want to live the rest of our lives. So spot on.
That's amazing, because, you know, if we have everything kind of set out too much, there is no room for that expansiveness. And actually that's something that translates really nicely into coming to RESTFEST, isn't it? Because a lot of the time when I do retreats with women, and I've done loads of events before, is that you have a particular agenda in mind. It's almost like you make it like, I've got to do this, I've got to give myself this self-care, I've got, you know, and we start kind of getting quite stressed about it. But with the invitation for going to RESTFEST and just being guided by your heart to what you want to do, and I always say, you know, whenever I'm running retreats, is if you don't want to do anything, don't do anything. Your self-care is absolutely fundamental to that. But if you like wander, you know, go around and wander and try something you've never tried before, who knows where it would take.
I know. It's in fact, I've just written the introduction to the programme and they were my exact words. So we're so in tune. This is brilliant. It is just an invitation to explore, try new things with no pressure, talk to new people, see where your curiosity takes you. And you know, I really hope, my intention for the event is that everyone's going to discover something new and helpful that's going to be a bit of a guiding light for them. So whatever that might be, a new friend, a new pack of cards, a new hobby, a new something to just spur them on to. But I mean, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is your purpose? What do you believe that the purpose of all this is? Like working with a coach or going to qoya, like what is the ultimate goal, the ultimate purpose that we're all trying to achieve? How would you, you know, is it happiness? Is it contentment? Is it, what are we all striving for?
It feels like it's to come home to our body and come home to our heart, because I'm not completely convinced about the pursuit of happiness as such. I feel like that can be something that, again, puts too much pressure on ourselves to live a really, because we are all emotion, you know. It's there's a card in here which is feeling it all, and it's okay to feel sad sometimes, it's okay to feel angry sometimes, it's okay to get pissed off, it's okay to want to dance like nobody's watching and dance like nobody's watching when everyone's watching. That's okay too. And for me, it's about coming home to us and where our heart is, and being able to say, do you know what, sometimes that doesn't work for me, and that's okay. You know, we particularly as women, we've got so many rules and restrictions, mostly we put on ourselves, and doing it for everybody else. But when you can come to a moment in your heart and just be in your experience, then I don't know, that's what I want to be saying from my rocking chair. You know, that whatever it was, that was a ride. And I had the fullest experience that I could have done.
I experienced it all. Wow, definitely. And allowed myself to follow those dreams, follow those breadcrumbs, all those, just all the ifs, buts and maybes and excuses. I've just encouraged every single one of you, whether you're coming to RESTFEST or whether you work with a coach or a therapist or not, just to try and put the excuses to the side for one day and imagine what it would be like if you didn't have all those excuses, because that's where you can be. You can start living that kind of life for sure.
And that's like the wonder card is like, you know, if you're living on this autopilot, we all are, you know, we all have our belief systems. We all have these things that we kind of like say we can or we can't do. We put these restrictions and rules on ourselves, and they're almost like chevrons in the road, aren't they, kind of guiding the way. But actually, when we take ourselves off of that autopilot, like, again, where can we explore what could be possible, what might be possible, getting a bit curious and going down the rabbit hole of things. And hey, if it doesn't work out, then okay, so where do we go next? I always say it's like pivoting and cha-chaing around in life and just going, okay, brilliant, let's do another turn. There's no such thing as failure.
No,
there's no such
thing. Just another lesson.
I don't think it's a word.
Pardon?
You know?
I missed that last bit. So
I think it's a word that's constructed in the English language,
yeah,
to be harder on ourselves. So yeah.
Don't worry about the failure.
And Jill, about not striving. It's about being in the moment, isn't it? Being in the present and being in the body.
Getting in flow, for sure. It sounds like you're totally in flow at the moment, Kate. The cards look amazing. If anyone's not coming to RESTFEST, where do they find you? Where do they get their hands on the cards?
So I am going to be in the Wellbeing Market, and I can't wait. And actually it might be quite fun to do some really mini readings with people whilst we're there as well. So come along, you know, pull a card, let's do a quick reading with them, try them out. I'm also going to be selling or having there some of the artwork as well, because the reason that I really put so much importance on the creativity side of them is that art in itself can be a meditation practice. It can be a mindful practice. So the cards and the images themselves are something wonderful that we can meditate on them, because when the unconscious mind works in symbols and patterns and colors. So when there's something that really resonates with you, Amanda's got hers, yes. When there's something really resonates with you, then having it as a reminder in front of you, it's like, you know, seeing a beautiful quote or something that really resonates, and your unconscious mind kind of fills up into it. That's really what I wanted to create, is having those that you could put on your wall as well at home that allow you to take a moment to connect into.
Yeah, and just those reminders, aren't they? Reminders to get back to that state of mind. And wow, it's been fascinating, Kate. Like, has anyone got anything more that they wish to ask Kate? I mean, I encourage you to come along to RESTFEST. Where can people find you on social media and your website there for anybody that's too far away to come to RESTFEST or can't make it?
If you have been on this call tonight, come and say hi, because it's like, what an amazing bunch of people. I just can't wait to meet you, and also what a great community you've got here. So they can find me. My website is katetaylor.co, so you'll find everything about me, and there'll be a few musings and probably a couple of swear words as well. And
love that.
My dog Bertie. I've also got a podcast as well, so you can find a link to that, the Practical Magic podcast, where I interview wonderful people, and then we riff on in between. Every fortnight I have a guest, and then I riff on something in between. But all the cards are on practicalmagicliving.com, so that's where you can find a link to buying them there, should you wish to go and have a look. But yeah, katetaylor.co, Kate Taylor Creative Living on Insta. Come and say hi, and yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's been awesome. You have for sure got a whole new little girly fan club gonna be checking you out. I think everyone's loved this tonight. The energy has been so positive and so energetic. I've learnt loads. I'm sure everybody else has. It feels like a union. Kate.
For ages. This is really nice.
I know. We'll have to do another one for sure. We'll see if we can do a Q&A session or something for people that can't make it to RESTFEST and didn't get to find out all about it. But I really do hope that you can come to RESTFEST. Tickets are still available, and I'm really encouraging you to buy them sooner rather than later. Don't leave me hanging for trying to figure out catering numbers and things. So www.restfest.co.uk for those of you that haven't already checked it out. It's going to be magical and awesome, and just full of 18 more women with as much energy to share as Kate. It's just going to be magic. So I thank you all.
We're going to a heck out of you lot. We really are. So come.
Yeah, come for sure. Thank you, Kate. It's been awesome. I've loved every minute of it. I'm going to be posting this up on YouTube so you can catch up with all of the other chats that I've been having ahead of RESTFEST over on the RESTFEST YouTube channel too. So good night. Sleep tight. Wishing you all magic, positivity and hope and joy for the coming days before RESTFEST. Good night, people. Laters. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.